Please make your way towards your seats. The program will begin shortly. Once again, please make your way towards your seats. The program will begin shortly. Please move towards your seats. We are starting momentarily. Once again, please move towards your seats. We are starting momentarily. Please move towards your seat. We are starting momentarily. Thank you.
Yeah, the mic's on. Hi, everybody. Good evening. Thanks for coming tonight.
No, stop talking.
I think I should try to get their attention a little more.
Well, what are you going to say?
All right, everybody, the programming is starting now, so please take a seat, and we're going to get the party started. Thank you. Clarissa?
Should I give it a minute?
No, this part is pretty boring, so I think you should go ahead.
Okay.
Speak loudly.
Ladies and gentlemen. Are they going to be quiet?
It's all right.
They're still talking.
It's all right. Children, I was a teacher. I am not afraid to come out there. There will be consequences. Ms. Shapiro, can you come up here, please?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished honorees, alumni, and friends of Denver Jewish Day School, welcome and thank you all for coming to our 2022 annual dinner. Yes. We are so thrilled to be in this beautiful space. I am Clarissa Cohen, co-president of the school's PTO, a member of the Board of Trustees, and a parent to 2 students.
And I'm Blake Cohen, a member of the Board of Trustees and a parent to the same 2 students. What some of you may not know about me...
Along.
Oh, sorry. Along with Scott Reich and Trina, who's here tonight in his stead, we are your co-chairs. What some of you may not know about me, although I just told you this, is that I used to be a teacher at Denver JDS. For 4 years, between 2008 and 2012, thank you, I was the lower school librarian. My favorite bathroom in the school was the one located between the makerspace and the cafeteria. That's right, I had a favorite bathroom. It was my favorite because no one else ever used it. One day while I was using that bathroom, I was shocked to notice graffiti on the bathroom stall. Some unscrupulous child had defaced school property. Was this the kind of children that we were educating? I bent down to take a closer look at what this delinquent had scribbled, and this is what I saw. True story. I was relieved to see that even in his moment of rebellion, this young vandal wanted to send a positive message, that he felt the love of his family. These were the kind of children that we wanted to produce. I knew then that if I should ever be so lucky to have a family of my own, I would send my kids to Denver JDS. A few months later, I met Clarissa, and 12 years later, here we are.
Good job. And that brings us to why we are here tonight, to support this incredible school that produces these amazing students and provides them with such a warm place to learn and grow.
In the service of this goal, I've come up with a new slogan for the school that I'd like to test out tonight. Denver Jewish Day School, if you love your children, you will send them here. Yes? Yes. It's just a joke, but, you know, it's kind of true.
Every school strives to be a place where parents who love their children feel great about dropping them off in the morning. Denver Jewish Day School is such a place, and we are here tonight to help ensure that it continues to be. Oh. Blake and I are so proud to be members of this community. Having served 3 years as the PTO leader alongside my fearless co-president, Allison Slatkin, I have witnessed firsthand our school's strength of character. People taking care of each other, celebrating successes, and supporting one another through challenging times. To every member of our DJDS family, you make this school such a special place.
Tonight, we will honor community leaders Amity and Marc Cooper and beloved teacher Jerry Rotenberg. Amity is a passionate mental health professional, and Marc is a talented real estate developer. They are committed parents and true mensches. We will also celebrate Jerry's 32 years of dedicated service to Ramah and DJDS. He is more than just a teacher to our students. He's a mentor, a coach, and a friend. We're so glad that we're finally able to honor you, Jerry. Our honorees have helped make Denver Jewish Day School such an important institution in the Denver Jewish community.
We are lucky to have Nathan Schweid as Alumni Keynote tonight. Nathan's story about how he got into the junk business is inspiring.
I heard he was the one who wrote that graffiti.
Allow us to take a moment to thank our dinner partners. Thank you to Rose Medical Center and the Rose Women's Hospital that just launched earlier this month. Jewish Colorado and Keshet of the Rockies have been tremendous ongoing partners for us, and we are so grateful. And thank you to all of the other sponsors for this evening, from whom you can find in your program guide. A special thanks to the Metzel, Fiddler, and Max families for their multi-year commitment, as well as the Cohn family, Cooper family, and Daniel Smith for their generous gifts to tonight's match.
The centerpieces on your table are inspired by the glass artist Dale Chihuly. They were created by our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students with supervision from our great art teacher, Mr. Chartier. Thank you to our development and marketing teams, Avi, Krista, Sam, Maya, Pam, and Matan, for all their hard work to make this event happen. They really did an amazing job. In an effort to allow more time for schmoozing, we'll be doing our program in its entirety right now, followed by dinner. Please enjoy your salad, and dinner is coming shortly. Also, our silent auction is live, and you can bid from your phone. You can find the website and QR code in the program guide. The auction closes at 8 p.m.
So let's get this party started. If you will, please join us and Rabbi Jay Streer, CEO of Jewish Colorado, for the Motzi.
We have a lot to be grateful for, coming together, and grateful for a school that educates our children. Thank you for the entire DJDS team. We express our gratitude with Motzi. Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
In this museum, there is a beautiful painting of aspen trees by Victor Higgins. Some of you may know that aspen trees grow in large colonies that are particularly unique in that the entire grove is connected by a single root system underground. That root system binds the aspen grove together, and it ensures that the aspens thrive in the best and worst of times. Aspens are an amazing community. And like the aspens, we, as members of our beloved school and our precious community, have proven that we are better together. Many of you know that it was just a few years ago that we were in a difficult situation. We were staffed for more students than we had. Enrollment was on a downward trend. The Great Recession had impacted all of us. And most significantly, we had millions of dollars of debt. Our DJDS community came together. We worked together and eliminated that debt. And more recently, because our community spread the word about DJDS, our student enrollment has been on an upward trajectory. Thank you, and please do continue to share the positive word about DJDS in your circles. It proves that we are better together. Many of you here tonight helped lead those efforts. You gave your time, your expertise, and your financial support. You shared the many reasons why you helped. Often, it was your care and love for the only pluralistic Jewish day school in the Denver area. You told us how it was important that we, our community, have a place for our children, our grandchildren, and for everyone who wants an outstanding Jewish and secular education. And you told us how DJDS is a special place for our community to learn, to grow, and to thrive. And how DJDS inspires our children to think critically about the world in which they live and prepares them for the role they will play in affecting it. And having a place in a program that inspires our children to develop a positive relationship with Israel, Torah, and the Jewish people is important to our community. The world has always benefited from the Jewish people, and the entire DJDS team views it as our very high responsibility to ensure that our children graduate into the world with a great sense of purpose, with a great foundation of ethics, and a great ability to thrive. And that's exactly what we're doing, and we're doing it together, because we are always better together. Speaking of doing things together, there's a group of people, 80 of them to be exact, that are the ones that are better together every single day. They are the ones that often put our children ahead of themselves. They are the ones that came together during these past 2 extraordinary years to ensure that our children continue to receive academic, cultural, and social enrichment that they so need. They are the heroes of DJDS. They are our teachers and our staff, and some of them are here tonight, and some of them are streaming. Will the teachers and staff in the room please rise so we can recognize the amazing job you do for our children? Our teachers and staff truly demonstrate that we really are better together. A sincere thanks to our incredible team. We talked about the way our community rallied together. This incredible turnaround and the momentum it created enables us to move on to a new and critically important phase of our work. Like the aspens that have a strong root system that creates a great foundation and secures its future, we are now securing the near-term and long-term future of DJDS. Let me share a few of the highlights with you. As we talked about, our teachers are the foundation of our school. We must invest in our teachers and attract the best in an increasingly competitive market, as well as invest in their professional development. That's why we are focused on increasing teacher salaries, awarding faculty innovation grants, and creating a teacher salary endowment fund. You can applaud that. Next, we recognize that we must push ourselves and our curriculum to make sure that it continues to keep pace with a fast-changing world. Ensuring that our children learn about the history of yesterday while building the skills needed tomorrow and beyond. For that reason, we are making significant investments to continue upgrading and strengthening curriculum in both secular and Judaic studies. We're also expanding our portfolio of innovative learning techniques and experiences for our children, and we were excited to announce the creation of a new position called Director of Innovation that is focused full-time on this effort. And in addition to academic investments, we recognize the increasingly complex and constantly changing social, cultural, and emotional needs of our students. So, we are expanding our counseling department to make sure that every one of our students gets the support they need. Yet another way that we are better together. And then there is our campus. It is a great property. Although many of you have seen our affectionately called 50s wing, yes, the building works, but it needs investment, and we are starting to make that investment now. Both because our children and our teachers deserve to work and learn in a place that makes them feel good, and also because it's one of the first things that prospective families see when they visit us. We are also planning the construction of a new facility to house a world-class innovation-focused makerspace, as well as an auditorium, cafeteria, and additional learning areas. We're also excited to announce that we are working closely with one of our graduates and Snapchat engineer, Daniel Smith, who is here with us tonight. Daniel has a passion for STEM learning and is investing his time and resources in our teachers and in the future of science, technology, engineering, and math at Denver JDS. Thank you for being here tonight, Daniel, and thank you for being so passionate about our school. The future is very, very bright for DJDS. With graduates like Daniel and so many others who are with us here tonight, and a community like all of you, we really are better together. As we continue our evening, let's recognize and appreciate and celebrate this amazing community. We are at the starting line. We have incredible momentum, and we are now accelerating that momentum. May we go l'chayo from strength to strength. We are strong, we are passionate, and we are better together. Toda rabah. Mark and Amity have been very generous to this school.
I think Mark and Amity stand out in our community as people who are committed to make our community a stronger, better place. They believe in lifelong Jewish learning for all of us.
Mark and Amity are involved in so much. They really are very generous with their time, with their philanthropy. They never say no.
They're my role model, so I just want to be more like them.
He has followed in these footsteps, being very philanthropic. I'm just proud that he's my son.
There's a gentle approach that they both have where they can lead and teach without it feeling like they're leading and teaching.
Mark is committed to lifelong learning. He taps into his Torah learning, and that overflows into how he lives his life.
We both want Denver Jewish Day School to be the best that it can possibly be, and really appreciate the way Mark puts everything into that dream.
To be able to see the world that Amity does is a beautiful gift in that she is able to see a problem, find a solution, and then implement it. Just lead with an open heart.
My mom is a passionate therapist. My mom had the motivation to go back to school and get another degree. She wants to do equine therapy, which includes horses. I think that's pretty cool.
They care deeply about their children, of course, and willing to do anything to make sure that their education is the best that it can be for them.
They want to keep learning and doing. They took a 4-month sabbatical where they traveled all over the world. They wanted to prioritize family time. And they also live out their values of tzedakah in that time as well. They went to visit the Elephant Foundation that was Dash's bar mitzvah project.
It meant everything. Every single country that we went to was beautiful and very enriching. And I think it was special because I got to do it with them. So if I can give back like that again, in volunteering, I think that's a great way to follow in their footsteps.
Their complete commitment, whether it's in service or in financial support to the school, is absolutely at a leadership level. And they deserve to be recognized and honored and thanked tonight. And I'm so happy to be able to do that.
Mazel tov, Marc and Amity. You are very well deserving of being honored by this wonderful institution.
A huge mazel tov on this award, and we can't think of anyone more deserving.
Mazel tov, Marc and Amity.
I couldn't be more proud of you, and I know that this will continue and that it will continue with your children also.
Mazel tov, Mom and Dad. I'm really proud of you.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad.
Hello, my name is Dash.
And I'm Mio.
You guys might know us as, from the slideshow, Marc and Amity's kids.
With my low-quality video.
And we both love them very, very much. And they're very, very special people. I believe they're the greatest pair of people in the world, in fact. Maybe biased, but I don't know. I want to talk about them and introduce them in a different way. They are my world. The two seem to accomplish anything that is thrown in their way. In my eyes, they can change the world and charge at it with a sword and a shield on horseback and face every problem that is faced at them. Even if they're invincible, though, only me and my sister know their weaknesses and their quirks.
I'll start with my mom, the heart of the family, of course. In the morning, my mom comes down the stairs in her plaid mama bear slippers and snatches the first cup of coffee that my dad made for her. She loves her special mug too, special. I can't say it though on stage because I'm gonna get yelled at. I'm sorry. It's her favorite thing in the whole world. I think she likes it better than me, which hurts. There are also horses. Horses. I forgot to mention, she definitely would rather spend time with them than either of us. Pain. And on the farm with her child, her favorite child, most likely her favorite child, is Steely Rose, the horse. That guy. Yeah, the little one. Technically cannot pass as a horse because it's basically the size of a dog. She's basically the size of the dog.
Speaking of dogs, oh, sorry, Dad. He's always amazing, full of love, always looks at the world with a great big toothy smile, with a slobbery mouth every morning. He's always there in the morning waiting for everybody to come down so he can play outside. The night is definitely his favorite as he goes and hangs out next to a fire. He always looks at the yard. He needs to, I guess, have a sense of protection and tell everyone who walks too closely to go away. The annoying part is calling him inside. He always gets distracted easily by the animals, like the squirrels and the birds. Oh, I forgot to mention, that he will always be found riding the Peloton. It is one of his favorite activities. But it's a little annoying when We Will Rock You by Queen is playing at full volume in the middle of the day while I'm trying to study for my next ACT.
But through the horses and mugs, love them. The fire and Peloton, again, love them. We both know that through the funny moments, they are still mom and dad. Blown. We tried to present them as Goliaths and warriors in the beginning, but we ended up portraying them as people, our people. They aren't truly invincible. I mean, no one is, but you know. But they sure are tough. I mean, they raised us. Us. Mom was always there to listen to my day driving me home. Dad was always there to cook a meal and crack a joke, a dad joke, you know, those kinds. The dog is always there to love, and I say, Bo is more important than them. Peace.
But in all seriousness, we love them, and I think we all care for them, as they care for us. They love the world, and they live and help in any way they can, whether that be donations or horse therapy with a small horse. They're heroes, not the flying ones or the ones with laser eyes, but the ones that take care of people, the ones that care about people. It's truly wonderful that they're being honored here today, and an even greater honor to talk about them with you all. So please give it up to our heroes, Marc and Amity Cooper.
I'm not sure if we're going to tell our speech now after that, because we can't match that.
No, absolutely not. This is amazing. Looking out at this crowd, I'm blown away. It's so good to see everybody. God, it's so good to see everybody. Thank you to everyone for being here tonight. Thank you, Dash and Mimi, for giving everyone a bit of insight into our home life. And as you can see, we're not trying to take ourselves too seriously.
This isn't in the script, but I did ride the Peloton today to try to get a little centered for tonight. Yeah. And then my dog unplugged it, so I had to reboot it. But back to the speech here. Thank you for all the sponsors who have helped make the event possible. Your support for the school means a lot to us. We really appreciate all the people who came tonight to support us. And of course, thank you, Sam and Krista and all the staff, and of course, Clarissa, Blake, and Scott for putting this wonderful evening together. And we should give them a little round of applause because we've all been in a box for 2 years, and it's really great. This space is really great. It's been a pleasure serving on the board for 6 years. And I think if we count all the committees, it's probably about 20 more years. From the buildings and grounds to fundraising to buildings, I already said buildings and grounds. And I have to say, board life at the Denver School, Jewish Day School, has been meaningful at times, challenging, as Avi has outlined, and very rewarding because we've become so much stronger over the last decade. I'd like to recognize the leadership who continuously and tirelessly contribute to school success. Avi, Rich, Arid, Haiti, Leslie, Randy, Lisa Cohen, and Lisa Ingbar. I have many more names, but they wouldn't let me say them all. Thank you for your commitment to building and ensuring that a Jewish education is worth securing for future generations.
DJDS has been part of our lives for many years. Our kids have a sum total of 14 years as DJDS students. And that foundation is the bedrock for who they are and always will be.
My turn. We really saw this investment come to life with Dash began to prepare for his bar mitzvah. It took him about 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes to get his Torah portion. It took him several months to write his speech, but it was amazing how he blew away his tutor with his ability to do the entire bar mitzvah, the service, and the Torah portion. That's what a Denver Jewish Day School education can do for you. We chose to celebrate his bar mitzvah in Israel because we wanted our kids to connect their studies to their Jewish identity. It was our intention to give Dash and Miel the opportunity to embrace their Jewish heritage, experience the wider net of Jewish community, and embody what it means to be a modern Jewish citizen in today's world. The trip expanded us. With the foundational skill set our kids got at the Jewish Day School, we are confident that they will go out into the world not just following in our footsteps of volunteering and philanthropy, but with the anticipation that they will lay down new tracks and they'll lead and grow and make their own contributions to our community. Now that the world is opening up again, we're working with our children on new philanthropy projects. Miel wants to help forests grow, and Dash is interested in returning to Israel to volunteer this summer.
As a Jew by choice, I came into this community by a series of fortuitous events. First, through a job at the JCC and discovering my Jewish heritage, then meeting Mark, followed by officially going through the conversion process while studying with wise men and women. To me, my expression of Judaism is more than an ethnicity or identity. It's my history, it's my home, and my safe haven.
I myself grew up in a I can't say the words, sorry, secularly Jewish, and I grew up secularly Jewish and only came to understand and appreciate Judaism more in my 20s. Jewish education has become a passion of mine. I want to help more children find a connection to their Judaism. I believe that this is the path forward to combating assimilation and making the world a better place, one mensch at a time.
A broad and welcoming Judaism is important to our future. As a community, we must find ways to make Judaism feel more alive and inclusive. And it is being part of this amazing community and family, being here with the fundamentals of a strong Jewish education is the solution to not only combating assimilation, but developing a sense of purpose and meaning.
We are grateful for the education that the school has given our children and hundreds of others. I'm going to add in myself too. It's been a growing experience working with the school and volunteering for the school. I don't know another place that produces so many outstanding young adults. It's as we've said many times, a mensch factory, and we and your children are examples of this. Thank you for all of you here and supporting this amazing institution. We are humbled and honored to be recognized this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry has that ability to just get everybody just laughing in a kind of tearing point of view to just set people at ease and lighten the mood and put everything in perspective. When there were some cold days and it was finals week, you know, he might have helped turn off the boiler some days and maybe just got us a snow day, you know, by default. So yeah, he's always there looking out for you.
I never do that.
That relationship that he built with the kids and builds with the kids over time in informal settings plays out very positively in the classroom setting as well.
I think about the terms like Ledovadol, like for each generation, and he has helped so many different generations throughout the school. And you see that. The first person they find is Jerry.
You know, it means a lot that he kind of just knows where we're coming from.
Jerry has an incredible sense of responsibility. So if he's going to, be involved in something, he's going to be involved all the way.
As a young person, I remember, being told, my brother and I, you can't go in the basement right now, Dad's working on Color War. We're like, oh, okay.
The joy that kids end up taking in that experience and the ownership, and then he's figuring out, how can we do this to make it even a little better when we're exhausted from the one we just had.
I remember 20 years ago, a student at that time came up with the idea of having a ski day. And I remember at the time thinking how out of the norm it was to allow this child, this kid who was maybe in 8th or 9th grade at the time, plan this entire field trip.
That's like not something that a 14-year-old should do or be allowed to do. Jerry just trusted students. Like you felt simultaneously like his peer, but not in a way that was disrespectful. So you were his peer, but you respected the crap out of him.
My dad really became a champion of equity and equality in the school, and really fought for every student and really made sure that everyone was being heard. And I think these are some things that, when I was in high school, I took for granted, but looking back on them, these are attributes that I have grown into.
I think I look up to my dad as the type of teacher that he is and how much he cares about the school. And it makes me want to be a better person and makes me want to be a better teacher and be more thoughtful and caring.
There's a calmness about him when I'm not so calm. And for him, he's been like the brother that I never had.
I can't imagine the load he carries on his shoulders by his personality, because he makes you feel so relaxed.
Oh, Jerry deserves to be honored every year, every day, always.
You're an amazing person. I respect you, we love you, and we appreciate everything you've done for our kids.
Thank you, Jerry, for helping me become a leader.
Thank you for all of this.
Congratulations!
On August 8th, 2004, Jessica Elway made history as the first ever daughter to induct her father into the NFL's Hall of Fame. While most people watching were intrigued by the legend that was John Elway, my aspiring eyes turned to Jessica in the hopes that one day I too could make history. Unfortunately for me, my dad's dreams of becoming a professional football player died after spending about 1 week on East High School's football team. Fortunately for all of you, he ended up choosing an even more lucrative career path. My dad started working at Rocky Mountain Hebrew Academy a few months before I was born. And so, over the last 32 years, I have seen him take on many, many different roles in his tenure at the school. As a young girl, I came to basketball and volleyball games he coached and sat in the audience as he announced the winner of Color War. As a student, I learned in his classes about the history of the Jewish people and the importance of our values to ensure the future of our nation. As a student athlete, I experienced his passion for rooting for the underdog and him prioritizing a fun environment that encouraged our competitive spirit. As his colleague, I saw firsthand the amount of time and energy he puts into student programming and the dedication and passion he has for our school. And as his daughter, I saw the support from my mom, Shelley, who has always been there by his side as he pivoted from one role to another. She was there at the basketball games, she was there at the Color Wars, she was there at the Shabbatones, and she became as much a part of the DJDS family as my dad. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom, Jerry Rotenberg. I could very literally talk to you for hours about all I have seen and experienced, but tonight I'd like to share with you Jerry's most important role of all. When I was about 5 or 6, I was sitting with my brother Josh, who was 10 or 11 at the time, in our dad's office at Beth Joseph, waiting for him to finish up a school thing so he could pick us up and take us home. There we were, minding our own business, when in walks this Ramah kid with eyes for only one thing, our dad's candy jar. Immediately, Josh and I step up. "What you doing?" "I'd like some candy," the kid says. No, that candy is ours," we replied. And we weren't just being snooty little kids here. You see, this candy jar was clearly labeled Jerry's Kids. And there we were, already in the room, all two of us. Well, the kid tried to argue. You see, I kind of am like Jerry's kid because, again, I was 5 or 6 at the time, and a teenager was trying to steal our birthright. I mean candy. So naturally, we weren't going down without a fight. But after 27 years of reflection, I realized we may have made a mistake. The word mishpacha, family, is used quite a bit at our school. We chant it at sporting events and during Color War, and the seniors will talk about it as they give their final Divrei Torah at the out-of-town Shabbaton. But there's a reason the word mishpacha is used so freely at our school. Jerry Rotenberg. For 32 years, my dad has poured his heart and soul into this school. For 32 years, he has inspired a love for Judaism in generation after generation of students. For 32 years, kids flocked to his office for advice and counsel, and for 32 years, he took the time, no matter what he needed to be working on, to listen and be there for those students. For 32 years, he made that extra effort to prepare the senior class goodbyes at our out-of-town Shabbaton, ensuring that every alumni would remember what Jerry said to them as they held their classmates crying, saying goodbye to their family. And for 32 years, he reminded our school that the most important and invigorating sport was, in fact, middle school girls basketball. After 32 years, the word mishpacha has grown to mean something more than just family at Denver Jewish Day School. You see, my dad doesn't have just 2 kids. Every single student who walks through our building at DJDS, or the one hall of Ramah when it was at the JCC, or the halls of the school when it was at Beth Joseph or BMH, every student becomes one of Jerry's kids. You will not find a person with a bigger heart than my dad. This school would not be what it is today without him. I would now like to introduce this year's Denver JDS Hall of Fame inductee, my dad, Jerry Rotenberg.
Thank you all very much. I've been standing up here for 2 years. Where have you been? I'm so grateful to be here tonight as our school honors Amity and Marc Cooper. I want to thank them for everything they have done for our school. Nathan Schweid, I cannot thank you enough for being our alumni speaker tonight. It's been a few years since you've been in my class, but I wanted you to know how grateful I am for you being here tonight. Funny thing happened on my way to the bathroom. Let me take a step back. About 33 years ago, when the school moved from BMH to Beth Joseph, I was approached to teach a Bible class in the bathroom. Dr. Ray Anderton, our principal, and Rabbi Meir Mark, our Judaic coordinator, caught me while I was doing some business. I'm not sure what that predicted about my future as a teacher at this school, but it has been an incredible experience, and the rest, as they say, is history. There have been many good memories, and some I would just like to forget. But overall, I'm really lucky to be able to do what I love. What has made this so special for me is the support from so many. I would like to name each and every one that has helped me along the way, but we're all hungry, and I'll make this brief. First, my family, my wife Shelley, my kids Josh, Teresa, Hannah, Alex, and of course my grandson Zachary Marvin. They've been my rock all along. Without their help and support, I'm not sure if I would have lasted this long. Shelley has helped so much and has the scars from preparing Shabbaton food for many years. I thank you for your help and sacrifices through all the years. There's a Yiddish term, "Teshep nachas," meaning to get pride from something. Every day I get this as I sit at my desk and see my daughter Hannah continue the traditions of our school. Brian Hay, my act of God, he gave me a chance, and I'm indebted to him more than he'll ever know. Sorry. Craig, when you're lucky enough to go somewhere each day and be with someone who makes you laugh, makes you think, and supports everything you do, it's a true blessing. We have been through a lot in our 32 years, and I pray we can keep doing this for many more. Josh Lake has helped me make the Great War, yes, I mean Color War, an unforgettable experience for our students. When we're not doing that, we're trying to schedule sports, class trips, Shabbatons, and everything else. I'm so lucky to be able to do this with such a great friend. Besides teaching science, Melanie Knowles is the quintessential travel teacher. I miss going on class trips with you, but I know our students can't say enough great things when they're on your trips. To Jason Snyder, who we are all so blessed to have as our principal, and to all the teachers and administrators I have worked with today and in years past, thank you for your friendship and your support. I also want to give a big thanks to all our lower division administrators and teachers. I am in awe of all of you and how you do this every single day. Thank you for teaching our students of the future. I also have to thank our students, especially all of you who sat with me in the inner circle at the out-of-town Shabbaton. You inspired me, you made me laugh, you made me cry, but most important, you encouraged me to be better at what I do. When I was in 6th grade, I had a teacher who started every lesson with, "The Torah is not a history book." I was too young to understand what he was trying to teach me. When I started teaching here, I knew exactly what he was saying. Every day we get a chance to teach your children about life. The Torah doesn't teach history. It teaches us how we should act, how we should treat others. It teaches us how to live our lives every day. More than 40 years ago, I attended a Jewish educators conference at Rutgers University where I was encouraged to go to a workshop about teaching Jewish teenagers. The workshop was led by Rabbi Ephraim Buchwald. Midway through the workshop, the rabbi started to explain how important it is to continue educating Jewish children. There were 10 of us in the room, and it was as if he was staring right at me. As he continued to teach us, tears started rolling down his cheeks. He quoted sentences from the Tanakh, but the one I remember so vividly was from the book of Amos. "A time is coming where I will send a famine upon the land, not a hunger for bread or water, but for hearing the words of Hashem." He looked at me and he said, "You have to do this. The future of the Jewish people depends on their teachers." I ran outside crying and I looked up and I said, "What do you want from me?" Somehow I found myself back in that room and everyone was singing through the tears. From that moment, more than 40 plus years ago, I knew teaching Jewish children is what I was supposed to do. I'm so grateful to everyone at DJDS for this honor. My thanks also goes out to all of you who trust us to share these valuable lessons with your children. Thank you very much. Oh, good, Candy. I got it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jerry, on an honor well deserved. I'm not sure how I should attempt to follow you, but I'll try. I'd like to start by expressing my excitement to introduce one of my closest friends, Nathan Schweid. During Nathan's tenure as a student at DJDS, he was able to establish himself as one of the best athletes to ever attend our school. From freshman year to senior year, he received a varsity letter in every sport that was offered. But what some people may not know about Nathan was he was also a budding star on George Washington High School's football team. As a member of the GW football team, Nathan got a taste of being a shaliach, or a messenger. Simply by being himself, people gathered around him and wanted to be his friend. He was able to bridge the communities between DJDS and the outside world. He became a great representative of the Jewish community to those around him who may otherwise never have met a Jewish person before. Fast forward to today, Nathan is successfully running his own business, and just like back in high school, he is still a shaliach. Through the junk trunk, he has led many philanthropic endeavors simply because it's the right thing to do. He regularly puts others' needs before his own and doesn't think twice about it. Every day, he represents all of the positive virtues we learned at DJDS, and I'm proud to call him my brother and my friend. And with that, it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening, Nathan Schweid.
Lots of candy up here. Good evening, everyone. I was planning on maybe starting this speech by poking a bit of fun at one of my buddy's girlfriends, but the two of them are sitting very close to the stage, and he has a mean left slap, so I figured I would hold off. I'm Nathan Schweid. I graduated from Denver Jewish Day School in 2012. I went to the school for 13 years. I played 24 seasons of Tiger sports. Though unlike our current Tigers, I can't claim a basketball district title. But I can claim a 6-1 record in color war, and I'm pretty certain that's why I got the nod tonight. I'm going to tell you a bit more about how I ended up on this stage and how 13 years on Wabash Street helped me get here. But if there's one thing I learned at the school, it's that little is accomplished alone. First, to tonight's honorees, the legend that is Jerry Rotenberg, of course, who I had for many, many years. Mazel tov, and thank you for all you do for this community. To my parents, Melissa and Joe, my fiance Berkeley, sister Leah, brother-in-law Parker, and to my friends and loved ones that are here today or watching online. Thank you for always being on my team and building me up. To my DJDS teachers who went above and beyond, thank you. To Sam Walsh, Krista Bosco, and Avi Halzel, I'm sorry that booking the Human Fountains was out of the budget this year. I hope I'm an okay consolation, and I appreciate the opportunity to share a bit about my journey. When I was in middle school and high school, I came to a few of these dinners, and I always noted which alumni had the honor of speaking. We didn't have prom king, so instead the competitor in me always dreamed of one day getting to be mentioned alongside some of the other alumni speakers. In the past, the alumni speaker has been someone that went into a career of law, maybe a doctor, perhaps started their own business. One former speaker literally helped start a social media company that has changed the way society communicates. They were people that made a real difference in this world. This year, you have me, Nathan Schweid, a trash man. Trust me, I do not take lightly to the fact that I have the distinct honor of being the first career trash man to graduate from Denver Jewish Day School. As a result, the first trash man to speak at this dinner. Folks, tonight you are part of history. Any day school can get a lawyer or a doctor to speak at their dinner. Not just anyone can get a trash man. So, Nathan, after 13 years of a Denver Jewish Day School education and studying political science at CU, how did you end up a trash man? Well, I'll be honest, school wasn't always / never really was my thing. I remember once getting a middle school report card and thinking to myself, my grades are in the dumps. Little did I know that soon my career would be in the dumps as well. With the help of a lot of incredible teachers, I wrapped up my career at Denver JDS and went on to study at the University of Colorado in Boulder. After 4-ish years in Boulder, the real world was ready for me. Ish. I initially was not ready for it. After graduation, some friends were taking a trip overseas. That felt like more fun to me than finding a job. So I told my parents I wanted to go. They said sure, but told me I was on my own to finance it. Suddenly, a job began to feel like a really great idea. That is when the junk trunk was born. I took my dad's old 1990s silver Ford Ranger pickup truck and went door to door asking people if they had anything they needed removed. Most said no, some said yes, and eventually I made enough to get a flight so I could join my friends. That was in 2016. Fast forward 6 years, the junk trunk now has 20 full-time employees and a dedicated secondhand store to resell and recycle and donate the items that we haul away from our customers' homes. Today, I'm proud to run the business with Joshua Musler, one of my childhood best friends and a fellow DJDS alum. This year, we'll haul away around 5,000 tons of junk from our customers' homes, and we'll complete 6,000 donation and junk pickups throughout the greater Denver metro area. But those are not the accolades we talk about as a business. What I'm most proud of is that our company is one that works hard to provide second chances in the junk we collect and to the individuals that we employ. We work diligently to limit the number of items taken to landfills. Nearly 2/3 of the items we collect are recycled, reused, or donated. We've worked to build strategic partnerships with organizations like Habitat for Humanity and Step Denver, an organization that works to help men that are in the early stages of overcoming substance abuse. Many of our employees live with the disease of substance addiction. They've worked hard to give themselves a second chance, and their work with us helps them in that journey. While my initial interest in starting the business was to earn some quick cash to finance a trip with my friends, that quickly became a secondary priority. What I've loved about running a small business is the platform it has provided to engage with our community and give back to it. Denver Jewish Day School instilled in me a deep understanding and appreciation for tikkun olam, tzedakah. Our teachers, those like the legendary Jerry Rotenberg, didn't just teach us Jewish teachings as archaic texts. They told us how to apply them. They stressed that Judaism is a faith of action, not word, deed, not creed. Fun fact, I took one of Jerry's classes every year from 6th grade to senior year. Jerry, mazel tov on this long overdue honor. Thank you for all you did for me and have done for this school and for this community. As the junk trunk has grown, so have our efforts to give back. When Hurricane Harvey struck Texas, we sent a truck down to Houston to deliver goods and supplies and help clean up. When the recent Marshall Fire ravaged Boulder, our trucks were there to help families working to get back on their feet. And during the pandemic, when the world turned upside down, we took a step back and asked how we could help. We leveraged our social media presence and started collecting donations to help provide meals for frontline workers. In total, we raised over $80,000 and provided more than 9,000 meals to those working in Denver's hospitals and others on the front lines. Tikkun Olam is an integral part of how we operate. But tonight, I want to focus on another tenet of our business model. It's our belief that every individual offers something that only they can. Everyone in this room has a unique, unparalleled trait, something that no one else has. It's what separates someone from others. It's the thing that makes you stand a little bit taller and speak with a little bit more liveliness and passion. I want to tell you all about what I believe mine is, what my secret sauce is. It's a practice that has made me more fulfilled personally and professionally. Openness plus vulnerability equals genuine connections. During my sophomore year at CU, I was walking out of a class one day when I suffered my first panic attack. My chest felt numb. I was dizzy. I was gasping for air. I called my mom, Melissa, she's sitting right there, and told her I thought I was having a heart attack. She calmed me down. I drove back down to Denver to my parents' house. I later learned this was an anxiety attack, and it became the start of a daily battle of ups and downs with my mental health. Over the last 7 years, I've seen 5 different therapists, tried 9 different antidepressant and anxiety medications, and worked each day to not let my mental health interfere with my life. It has never been easy, but I've been lucky to have support and incredible resources every step of the way. I believe I've also benefited from my secret sauce motto, the one that makes me me. Openness plus vulnerability equals genuine connections. In working to fight my mental health struggles, I've learned to be open about them. I talk about them with friends, family, and strangers willing to listen. And I've learned that my struggles are a vulnerability that I can tackle. I've also found that I'm far from alone in them. So many connections I have made stemmed from the simple fact that in my struggles, someone else saw their own and felt comfortable opening up to me and sharing their vulnerabilities in turn. Each day, I work to be open with those around me. I speak bluntly to those in my circle, for better or for worse, and those I'm interacting with for the first time. I found being honest and straightforward from the start saves me time down the road, and I embrace my vulnerability. I know I am far from perfect. Heck, I even had help tying my tie tonight. What can I say? Us trash guys don't wear suits all that often. But instead of running from my vulnerabilities, I have run towards them. I've failed, tried again, failed again, tried again, and then finally figured it out, kinda. It's my openness and my embrace of vulnerability that I believe has allowed me to create genuine connections with people from every walk of life. Connections that are not surface level. There's a real beauty that comes from speaking directly and honestly with strangers, relating to each other, being open and vulnerable, forging that connection. In business, it's helped me create new connections and exposed other ones that were not meant to be. It's the reason we're able to consistently earn new customers, forge new partnerships, and expand our reach in the community. Openness plus vulnerability equals genuine connections. And as much as I want to claim this formula as my own, it's really one that I think could be the slogan of DJDS. Openness is as ingrained in a DJDS education as smelling like 3-week-old tuna is in my work uniform. Ask my fiance, junk is not always a glamorous job. At DJDS, openness is embedded in the culture, the hallways, and the conversations. Each day for 13 years in classrooms and on playing fields, and on school trips, and on Shabbatonim, DJDS taught me to be open with myself, with my friends, and with my teachers. Open in the way I interact with others, open in the way I explore my faith, and open in how I pursue my passions. Each day, the school forced me to face vulnerabilities head on. Scared of public speaking? Try reading a Devar Torah in front of all your 7th grade classmates each Friday. Worried about not fitting in? Leave it to an upperclassman to pick me to be his teammate during the egg toss event during Color War. A true act of God. Nervous about an upcoming test? Or in my case, worried about every upcoming test? I give you DJDS teachers, ones that made themselves available at lunch and for hours after school to make sure I understood the material. When you're open with those around you, you become more comfortable sharing the parts of you that you question the most and the parts of you in which you are least confident. At DJDS, vulnerability is lauded and listened to and advised. It sparks compassion and new ideas and produces students and then alumni that think differently. Ones that look at success as synonymous with tikkun olam, giving back. For any success I've had or will have, I have this school to thank. The fundraising and support that comes from nights like tonight continues to make that opportunity possible for others. My hope is that DJDS continues to embrace students' openness, encourage their vulnerability, and allows them to create genuine connections with each other, their community, and the world. Thank you.
This place really has a unique community atmosphere.
And I just found this community of people that I'm gonna know forever.
I feel like this school is like a home away from home.
All these experiences brought me so close with everyone around the school, and I don't think you can get that anywhere else in the world, and that is what makes DJDS special.
When you describe to people who didn't go here, they don't understand. You're like, how did you even get an education when you spent a week of the year doing Color War, but you build such a tight crew?
The communal goal of trying to make kids better people, create leaders but kind leaders, leaders that are thoughtful in our world, bleeds into almost everything we do here.
This isn't some just transaction where the kids show up, they learn, they absorb, they take a test, and they graduate with a diploma. But the school doesn't feel like its mission is complete until they're good human beings and good Jews in the world.
When I just came into kindergarten, I was really shy, but now I'm not.
When I was in 6th grade, a senior wrote me Shabbotagram. It basically was just her telling me that I could be a role model for younger people, especially younger girls, so that they could have the same sense of community that she gave to me.
All the class trips that we do every year, I think not even just getting tight-knit with your classmates, but also with the teachers on that.
We were on a scenic outlook in Israel. We were overlooking the sunrise, and I remember looking to my sides with people who I could legitimately call my best friends. And for me, what was so significant about that was how quickly that happened. Just, wow, this is now a community that I am a part of, and it happened like that, truly.
The work that I do really matters because I really care about these kids.
To have that core tradition, the Shabbatones, the Color War, the singing, the love for Judaism is really important, and I think that will carry them through to be better leaders of the future Jewish people.
There is a focus on people being able to grow into what we want to become as educators.
I consider a lot of my colleagues my friends. I feel like it's a second home.
They're classmates that speak different languages at home and have different color skin, and this school fosters that kind of diversity, and it was really a pleasant surprise for us.
My daughter told me that she wants to go to college with the kids from DJDS. She has this sense of community and belonging and those values that she wants to take with her.
Thank you, DJS, for teaching me new stuff. For always being there for everyone in the school.
For helping me find my Jewish identity.
For partnering with us in raising our children.
Thank you, DJDS, for making work a home.
And thank you to DJDS for giving me, to this day, still my very best friends in the world.
Good evening. My name is Trina Reich, and I am married to Scott Reich. Unfortunately, he's sick this evening and was not able to join us. So I am here to read his speech. But first, I would like to just say a thank you to Lisa Ingbar and Melanie, as I got such a warm welcome when I arrived here this evening. And even though I'm not physically a part of this community every day, I feel it when I'm with all of you this evening. So thank you. So here it goes. My name is Scott Reich. I am one of the co-chairs of tonight's dinner. I am a member of the Board of Trustees, and I serve on the Executive Committee as the Board Secretary. When I told my mother that I had been asked to serve as Secretary of the Board, she said, "That's very nice. Have they seen your handwriting?" One of the ways I try to make up for my shortcomings as a secretary is to help out on the Development Committee. And tonight, I have the honor to be that person that asks you to contribute to Denver Jewish Day School. And I do consider it an honor because I have been given an opportunity tonight. Really, together, we have been given an opportunity tonight to do something very special. We have a chance to contribute to the education of our children and to nurture the future leaders of our community. Education and community, they have always been an important part to me, and I think it's because they played an important role in my family's story. All of my grandparents arrived in the United States as children or young adults, having left most of their belongings, and in some cases, their parents behind. During the Depression, my uncle sold tomatoes on street corners to support the family. But my parents and aunts and uncles worked hard in school, became teachers, postmen, bookkeepers, and salesmen. That generation sent their children to college and grad school, and then my generation became executives, accountants, professors, nurses, and yes, even lawyers. And so it was education that lifted my family out of poverty. But my family did not accomplish all these things without help. And it was always the Jewish community that provided support. When my grandparents were so poor that they could not afford to feed all of our children, the Jewish community placed my uncle with the family until things got better. I've been fortunate to not need that kind of assistance, but like a lot of you, I've had my ups and downs, and particularly during the down times, I felt the warm embrace of the Jewish community supporting me, inspiring me, and lifting me up. The students at Denver Jewish Day School get to feel that warm embrace every day. You saw it in the video when Miles and Ellis Cohen talked about a home away from home. You heard it from Shane Kleinstein when she referred to her tight crew. And in my favorite clip, you heard it from Julia Perlmutter, who as a 6th grader was inspired by a Shabbatogram from a senior to be a role model for younger girls. So I am here tonight not because I'm an alum or a parent or a school administrator, but because Denver, Colorado needs a school where kids can get a great education and feel the warm embrace of our community. So, now, down to business. You and I are going to raise some serious money. I am pleased to tell you that the money we raise tonight will be earmarked for financial aid for families that cannot otherwise afford to send their children to our school. Every year, our school is proud to provide a total of $2.5 million in financial aid to nearly 2/3 of our student body. I want to briefly read from one of the notes the school received from a family that receives financial assistance. I remember waiting for the financial aid decision to come through. I had no idea if we would be able to swing it or if it would be totally out of the question. When we found what the package would be, we knew it would be hard. We would have to prioritize things, but we knew we could make it work. We celebrated that week at Shabbat dinner. There were tears all around, from us and from both sets of grandparents. Knowing the experience our children and family would have, I now have 3 kids in the school, and they come home every day singing songs in Hebrew. The school has profoundly impacted our lives and their lives. That's the joy that we can bring our efforts here tonight. I know that many of you already support the school with tuition money and through other gifts. And so in asking for your help tonight, I know I'm asking a lot. But this school offers a lot. Where else can kids learn about Kafka and Kashrut, literature and liturgy, mathematics and Maimonides, Shakespeare and Shabbat? And apparently, some of our students have learned to be pretty good basketball players. Please join me in showing that you care about education and community as much as I do. Please join me in living our Jewish values and helping make sure that all kids have the chance to attend the school, regardless of their financial circumstances. To give you an additional incentive, every dollar you contribute tonight will have triple the impact. That thanks to our generous donors, whose names are listed on the screen. Collectively, they have set aside $240,000 to match any gift we receive in the room tonight, 3-1. Please give them another rousing round of applause. And if you need a little more incentive, gifts above $2,500 are eligible for the Colorado Child's Tax Credit. There is a tent card on your table that explains the tax credit further. At this point, I'm going to ask table captains to please pass out pledge cards. You can fill out a pledge card and hand it to staff member or a student who will be circulating. You also may notice the QR code on the pledge card. If you open the camera on your smartphone and scan that code, it will link you directly to our online donation page for this event. Either way, whether you fill out the paper or donate online through the website, your gift will be tripled tonight. I'm going to give you a few minutes to make your gifts, and you can see them tracked on the screen behind me.
If everybody could just take a few seconds, drop your forks. As Trina mentioned, we have a 3-to-1 match this evening, so please fill out the cards that are on your table. We really appreciate it. When I speak. Go ahead. Just thank everybody and I'll start.
Thank you. We appreciate the generosity of our match donors, and thank you all who gave tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rich Cohn, and I am the chair of the DJDS Board of Trustees. Thank you. I have the pleasure tonight of closing out our program. And like many people up here before me tonight, I am so pleased to see everyone tonight celebrating with us. Congratulations to Amity, and to Mark, and to Jerry. You have helped make Denver Jewish Day School the special and remarkable place that it is. Nathan, thank you for your inspiring remarks. No doubt, man, you made trash talk better than I've heard in a long time. Thank you again to all of our sponsors, and special thanks again to our diamond partners, Rose Medical Center and its new Rose Women's Hospital, as well as Jewish Colorado and Keshet of the Rockies. We truly appreciate our long-standing partnership with all of you. I also want to take a moment tonight and make a point of recognizing Avi Halzel and his team. Yes. You know, every year we thank Avi and his team for all of their hard work and dedication. But as we know, these past 2 years have been difficult for so many. I want to emphasize how grateful we are as a board and a community for Avi's leadership. During these last few years, many schools have struggled. Not every independent school has thrived during this time, and not every Jewish day school has thrived during this time. Our school pivoted quickly, and with a steady hand, a calm demeanor, and a quiet confidence, Avi has met the most difficult challenges our school has ever faced. Under Avi's leadership, our school has thrived. Our enrollment has increased. We are financially sound, and we are beginning to see great opportunities grow to fruition. Avi, thank you. And lastly, I want to thank all of you, Every person in this room is committed to ensuring that our school and our students thrive. As we have seen tonight, Denver Jewish Day School is an extraordinary institution, impacting our students and our broader Jewish community in powerful ways. In addition to providing students with an outstanding academic education, Denver JDS empowers our kids to grow to be confident, well-adjusted, purposeful people. Through Jewish values, Denver JDS teaches our kids to be curious, to ask questions, to be aware of what's happening in the world and in our community, to be engaged, and to act. Our sophomores and juniors are in Israel right now on our signature Hebrew immersion program, or HIP. Yes. Among many of the impactful experiences and learnings they have had during this month, our kids had a special opportunity to meet with Daniel Gordnis. Now, for those of you who don't know of Daniel Gordnis, he is a leading thinker, educator, writer, and author. Google him. He's the real deal. He almost never speaks with high school groups anymore, but because of our connections, we were able to arrange this special session. After his time with our students, Daniel shared with Avi and Irit Walbaum, our immediate past board chair, that while he rarely meets with students now, he has done so many times in the past. And after meeting with our students, he remarked that we have a special group of well-educated and thoughtful and insightful kids, beyond his typical historical experience. And that's but just one small and current example of what Denver JDS can do. And your support makes it all possible. So thank you. I know everyone is anxious to get back to their dinner and continue eating. But as you eat, please don't forget about our Tigers for Tzedakah Day of Giving campaign, as well as our silent auction that has just a few minutes left. So check your program insert, see what we're offering, and bid high. For all those alumni and faculty in the room, don't forget about our alumni after party, which will take place in the back of the room in the same area that we had our cocktails. Thank you all for coming tonight and celebrating with us. Enjoy your dinner, and please, everyone, feel free to take home the beautiful centerpieces that our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders made. Thank you.